Okay, this lesson is on a quick review of order of operations. When we are simplifying an expression, we want to follow these guidelines. We first want to simplify anything in parentheses first, and then after that we're going to take care of our exponents. Then multiplication and division from left to right. Let me write that in there, left to right. And then finally we do addition and subtraction from left to right as well. Okay, this is an example of that. Let's take 5 plus 2 times 3. In the order of operations, multiplication is done before addition. So I'm going to take that 2 times that 3 first and write that as a 6, like that. Then 5 plus 6 gives me 11. If we needed to add the 5 and the 2 first, then you would have to have parentheses around that, something like this. If that were the case, then if you look over here at our order of operations, parentheses are done first. So I would have to add that 5 and that 2 together as my first step. That would be a 7 times a 3. And then I do the multiplication after that, which is a 21. Here's another example. 4 minus 12 divided by 4 times 2. Okay, I have subtraction, division, and multiplication in there, in that expression. I do the multiplication division from left to right. So I'm going to, as my first step, take the 12 divided by 4. That's going to be 12 divided by 4 is 3, then times 2. Next is the multiplication. 3 times 2 gives me 6. 4 minus 6. And then finally subtract, and my result is negative 2. Here's another one. 4 times 3 squared plus 7 minus, in parentheses, 2 plus 8. Okay. We have some parentheses here, so let's do that first. 2 plus 8 is 10. Next I have an exponent, so let's take care of that as well. 3 squared is a 9. Next in our order of operations is multiplication. 4 times 9 is, right here, is 36. And now the addition and subtraction from left to right. 36 plus 7 is 43. Minus the 10 is a 33. 33 is our result. All right, another example. Negative 4 times 2 minus 4, absolute value, plus 8 times 2. Now, treat absolute values like parentheses. You need to know what's inside the absolute value first before you can do anything after that. 2 minus 4 is a negative 2. Absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. The next step would be the multiplication. I can do these multiplications at the same time. This is a negative 8, and this one over here is a 16. You can do them separately from left to right, but the more of these you do, you'll notice that there's some steps you can combine without getting a wrong answer in the end. Finally, negative 8 plus 16 is a positive 8. And there's our solution, our answer. Here's another example. 1/2 times absolute value negative 4 plus 6 divided by 3 minus 7. 3 there. Okay, I'm going to take care of that absolute value first. The absolute value of negative 4 is a positive 4. I can also start working on this set of parentheses inside. 6 divided by 3, the division is before the subtraction, of course. 6 divided by 3 is a 2. It's a plus sign there. Let me fix that. Okay. I still have some parentheses here. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Next is multiplication. 1/2 times 4 is a 2. And then finally, 2 plus a negative 5 is a negative 3. And there's my solution. Okay, now for one that has actually more than one set of parentheses in it. 3 divided by 1/2 minus bracket negative 5 plus 2 cubed minus 1. Brackets are just very large parentheses. If you have parentheses within parentheses or parentheses within brackets, you always start in the innermost set. So the first thing I'm going to do here is add the negative 5 and the 2. Let me fix that mistake there. Okay, that's negative 5 plus 2 is a negative 3. Now inside the brackets I have an exponent, so I'm going to take care of that as well. And actually I could take care of the parentheses in the front right here at the same time. 3 divided by 1/2 is the same as 3 times 2 over 1. I have to multiply by the reciprocal. That's going to give me a 6 in the next step. I'm going to cube that negative 3. Negative 3 to the third power is a negative 27. Now over here, go right over here. I now have 3 times 2 minus, in brackets, negative 28. And now the multiplication, 6 minus negative 28. You could have switched those brackets to parentheses at this point. It wouldn't have mattered. And finally, 6 minus a negative 28 is really the same as 6 plus 28, which would be how much? 34. So our solution, our answer is 34. All right. Let's try one now that is a fraction. 10 minus 6 plus 2 squared root 9 over 11 times 2 minus 3 times 2 squared. A large fraction. When you have an expression such as this, you need to simplify the numerator separately, the denominator separately, and then at the end divide. First thing I'll take care of is that square root 9. Right here, square root of 9 is a 3. At the same time, I can take care of this exponent. 2 squared is 4. There. Next step would be the multiplication. (10 minus 6), then I got this 2 times this 3 here is another 6. In the denominator, I have 22 minus 12. Next is subtracting. 10 minus 6 is 4. In the denominator, I have 22 minus 12, which is a 10. Looks like we have 10 over 10, which reduces to a 1. And so that expression is equal to 1. Here's another. Okay, As my first step, I'm going to take care of that exponent and that square root. 2 to the 4th power is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That would be 16. So I've done that. Square root of 9 here is a 3. We've seen that before. The next step would be the multiplication in the denominator. 6 times 3 is 18, minus an 18. And it appears that we're going to have 21 over 0. And as we've talked about in a previous lesson, you can't divide by 0, undefined. This expression, we would say, is undefined. It has no answer. All right. That's just a quick review on order of operations. But also in this lesson, let's just do a couple quick examples of substitution. Let's say that we know that m equals -4, n is 5, p is -6, q is 25. And using that information, we're going to find the following, or evaluate the following. That would be more appropriate. Let me change that. We're going to evaluate the following expressions. First one, 5m minus 9n. The variables here, you need to first replace them with parentheses, like this. Then I'm going to plug the numbers in. This helps avoid any mistakes with negative signs. From up here, I know that n is -4, so I'm going to plug that right in there. I'm going to use a different color. N is 5, and so that goes in place there. So I've substituted. Now I'm just going to follow my order of operations like before and simplify the expression. This will be a -20 minus a 45, and -20 minus 45 is -65. And there's our result. Here's another one. M plus 2n over 4p. So once again, I'm going to replace all those variables first with parentheses. Some books say that you just need to do that when you're going to plug negative numbers in, but I just do it as a general rule, whether the numbers are positive or negative. Okay, from up above we have that m is -4. That's going to go in there. N is 5. And p is -6. That's going to go right there. Now I'm following my order of operations and simplifying. -4 plus 10. That's going to be over -24. -4 plus 10 is a positive 6. And I can reduce that fraction. That's -1/4 if you reduce it properly. So our expression simplifies to -1/4. One more example. -3m cubed minus n squared square root q. So once again, I'm going to replace all those variables with parentheses first. And actually, that q under the square root, I don't really need parentheses there, but I'll put them in anyway. Once again, the m is replaced with -4, the n with a 5, and the q with the 25. Now, the first thing I'll do is take care of those exponents. -3 times, right there, -4 to the 3rd power is a -64, minus 5 squared is a 25, and I can also take care of the square root right now as well. Let's do that. Square root of 25 is 5. Next is multiplication. Negative 3 times negative 64 is a positive 192, if I have that multiplied correctly, minus a 125. And now the subtraction, 192 minus 125 is a 67. 67, yes, that's right, 67. Okay, and that's our quick review of order of operations.